What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down some important news that came out involving Donald Trump and how this may affect the market moving forward. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposits $2,000 and you're guaranteed 30. So as far as the market is going, as of right now, the bulls do have somewhat of an edge as long as we're above our key EMAs. But I do want to mention that there are a lot of things going on globally, and we do have Donald Trump making some important decisions at 1 p.m. that could affect the way this market's going to move. So the first thing worth mentioning is we're seeing a lot of headlines about this. China has launched retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. as a result of Donald Trump increasing tariffs to about 10% so far. He also mentioned that he wants to put a 25% duty on steel and aluminum. So this is leading to some tensions right now. There was a lot of talk from mainstream media about how Trump could be meeting their leader, but he later just said that he's in no rush to do it. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is something that's kind of like pending. We'll see how this develops as more things unfold. We also have India's Prime Minister Modi, who is going to meeting with Trump, I think, on like Wednesday and Thursday. He'll be coming to the U.S., so just keep that in mind. That's very important. He mentioned that there's going to be a lot of talk about trade, tariffs, and factors like that, so we'll see what that leads to. So those are some things that are going on, at least for the next couple of days. Now, today, Donald Trump is also going to be signing some executive orders at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got this information from Unusual Wells in case you guys are interested. But just to be very, very clear with Donald Trump doing this, we'll see if he announces anything. Will he say anything about these new tariffs on some of the U.S.'s trade partners, or will he say just like nothing for now? We'll just have to wait and see about that. So for now, okay, from the way I'm trading, the way I'm going about things, I took the majority of profits already on these moves. And my strategy is to basically just mainly sit on cash in my trading accounts and just keep positions small. I'm just being very, very patient for now. And the reason for that is because there is some uncertainty about what Donald Trump may say. So if Donald Trump ends up announcing today that he wants to increase tariffs on specific countries, yes, it's going to cause a big move. So you have to be ready just to be safe. Donald Trump has already said that he will do that. We just don't know the exact plans, which countries will be involved, to what extent he'll raise tariffs, and what else he's going to say. So you have to just wait and see. So just to be very, very frank, if SPY could surpass the high of the day, 605.4, if we break past that, I think we could push very close to 607. If we turn back down and we end up losing 603-ish around that area, if we can't hold above that, I'm not going to be as worried. Actually, I would say 602.5 would worry me a little bit more. So around that like 602.5 range, if that fails us, we could be dipping back down to 600 flat just to be safe. So that's kind of like your range on SPY. As of right now, we saw some volatility in the morning and we're just getting tighter. So I think SPY is just going to shuffle and chop around a bit. So this is what it's basically doing. It's just kind of like in a tight range. So there's not really a whole lot that's going on. It's going to likely be range bound for now until we see what happens at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see if Donald Trump announces anything. Otherwise, we're just in a tight range right here in the 604s. And I think we just kind of perpetuate like this as time goes on. Same thing with the QQQ. It's a little tight right now, but this is looking stronger than SPY because of the fact that we have Nvidia pushing. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you could see that 530 is going to be a very, very tough area. If we manage to surpass 530, we're going to be looking for 533 as a potential target. If we turn back down and lose 528, we're looking for a move back down towards like 525. Overall, we are looking a little bit more bullish on the QQQ, but keep in mind at 1 p.m. there might be some volatility if Trump says anything. So we'll see how that goes. For the Russell 2000, we have resistance at 227 and we have support at 225. We're in a range right now, completely stuck. There's still that gap I'm eyeing all the way down to the low 220s. So we'll see about that. So if we lose the 225 area, we're going to be at risk of more downside, and that lower gap could get filled to the lower 220s. To be bullish, I want to see it surpass 230 for this inverse head and shoulders like structure to pan out. Could go either way. So as of right now, it's range bound until we get more information. For ES, we pushed to this trend line right over here. So this is the tough resistance we ended up hitting. I mentioned that's very close to about 6,100. We came super close to hitting that. Now we're just going to shuffle for a bit. So If we lose 60.69, we could turn back down to like 60.40, just to be very frank. And if we surpass 6,100, we could remain more bullish. As of right now, we're in the middle, so we're going to be looking for some chop for now, and then we'll see what happens during Donald Trump's signings of executive orders and if he says anything. For NQ, this is looking a bit more bullish. We basically almost filled this imbalance, and now to remain bullish, I want to see it surpass 22,000. If we can't do that and we end up losing 21,600, we could be dipping back down to lower levels. We're in a range right now, but this does look a little bit more bullish, at least for the time being. We'll see what happens during Donald Trump's speech when he signs executive orders and starts saying things, so give it some time. We'll see if he says anything significant about tariffs, so just keep that in mind as well. For Bitcoin, this is on a bit of a downtrend. We have tough resistance at 98,000. I want to break that to turn bullish. Our support is at 97,000 flats. If that fails us, we're looking for support at 96,500. So we're in a range in Bitcoin. I think it's just going to remain range bound for now. It might dip a little bit more, but it's not really doing much. So it's just going to be range bound between those levels. Nvidia is looking bullish. If we could close above 133, we're looking for an attempt to fill this gap for 142. If we lose 127, we turn back down. Right now, it looks very bullish. It looks like it wants to eventually fill that gap to 140. But whether or not that happens quickly may depend on what's announced. So if Donald Trump announces some more tariffs on Taiwan, this could cause Nvidia to dip a bit, just hypothetically. If he doesn't do that this week, then we could be fine and this thing could just continue to hold up. It's very resilient. It's doing a great job. Tesla has very tough resistance at 363. That's the previous range. So like from right over here, we had 363 on Tesla. This was a tough level to break in the past right over here. So that same level is now acting as resistance. If we surpass that, I'm going to be looking for an attempt to get to the mid at 360s to like 366, eventually to 370. And if we end up losing 350, the 358 area, we would turn back down. Otherwise, Tesla's just shuffling in this range between 358 and 363. So it's not really doing much, but it does have some upside potential. We'll see how the executive orders affect this. Apple has resistance at 230 and support down here around this 226 area. We're range bound, not really doing much as well. So I'm going to wait and see how that develops. For SoFi, we are looking a little bit more bullish. We're technically trying to break out of this wedge. As long as we're above like 15.24, we could slowly push it for like 15.62. So just keep that in mind. There's some potential in this chart. For coin, I want to see it break 282. If 282 breaks, we could be looking for an attempt to get up to about 285. If we lose 277, we could turn back down. I see some upside potential here, so give this the time it needs, and we'll be very, very patient nonetheless. Amazon, if we surpass 233, we're looking for an attempt to break out for 236. If we end up losing 230, we're looking for a dip back down. This is currently favoring 233.8, so keep that in mind as we look a bit more bullish. For Meta, we basically have 720 as our resistance, so we have the support down here around this 710 area, but I think this looks a little bit more bullish to try to break the 720s. It's doing a good job at holding up, so we'll see if this continues or not. For Microsoft, if we surpass 414, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to like 417. If we turn back down, we're looking for an attempt to dip to about 410 or below. So we'll see. It does look a little bit more bullish to me if we surpass this resistance, so I think it's doing well. For Google, we're looking for 191.26 and 193 as our resistances. So this is doing a good job as well, especially as we have this imbalance above. So I think it could slowly push to about 190 to 191, a little bit of a push. But like I said before, there's been a lot of news coming out about their earnings being a little bit lackluster for some sectors. And then there's also an investigation going on in China. So not the best of news for them, despite that. That's why it's not really running as hard. So we'll see what Donald Trump ends up saying. He's going to be signing some executive orders at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in a couple of hours. And if he says anything, get ready for some volatility just to be safe. My strategy is, I secured the majority of profits on my day trades. I'm not referring to investments, guys. I'm still holding a lot of Tesla shares and for other stocks as well. But for my options accounts and my other accounts, I'm just trying to take risk off and being very, very cautious right now. That's my move. Guys don't have to copy me or anything like that. I'm just saying what I'm doing. And I'm being very, very cautious because who knows what Donald Trump may say. And I feel like there's a little bit of risk right now. So I'm being very, very careful. With that being said, have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one, and peace out.